without further ado, I will invite up our esteemed guest today, Coach Bill Annan.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to be back. I told my wife this morning, it's the first time I've spoken to this group and our record's not very good. So she said, is this a rough crowd? I said, oh, you have no idea how rough this crowd is. So I'm going to try to bear it, but no, it's always fun to be here. Excited to be back. Things are changing and moving along. So I always have to address my family first. So my youngest son still works at Tulsa Federal Credit Union, still calls his mom every time coming home. His two best stories so far. As we all know, sometimes it's hard to hire good help. So he said, Dad, I'm dealing with someone who has a phobia with automatic flushes on the stool. I said, good luck with that. He goes, I just told her to go across the street to the local OnCure or whatever and take care of it over there. Second, he said he got his vaccination, came back to work. One of his employees came up and she said, have you put a magnet on that yet? And Grant said, put a magnet on what? Where they gave you that vaccination. Grant said, why would I put a magnet on that? There's a chip in there and you have no idea what they're tracking you right now. So Grant's just always has a story about just how things are going. I said, hey, the number one thing, are you balancing every day? And he said, yeah. I said, well, that's always a plus. So that's been good. My oldest just celebrated his first anniversary, November 7th. And Trent works over at Tulsa as well. He's an accountant over there, kind of moved from Ernst & Young, public accounting into private accounting. So now he's working for Kaiser & Williams and really likes his job and it's working out well for him and his wife. So Marcia and I are anxious for grandkids. So when that comes, we'll probably put something out on the Smoky Pokey billboards that the Annans are having a grandchild coming through or something out there. So we'll take care of that as well. But no, everything's good. Dad survived in 87. Mine's great. Body's not good. So let me tell you, if you're a rough crowd, you got to have my dad call you after we shoot 19% from three and 27% from the field and below 51% from the free throw line. So let me tell you, I hear from him after every game and he's breaking it down with me on exactly what in the blank are you doing on the offensive end. So anyway, it's all good. We're having fun. I did put a schedule and a roster like I normally do on your table. We do have some new faces on the staff. Obviously, two new coaches. Taylor Carr came to us from Santa Clara, played basketball at Kansas State and at Gonzaga, played overseas for a couple of years, and now she's on board. Actually, a Paola, Kansas native. Great person, does well with our point guards. Fun to have her on staff. Jessica Grayson came to us from Stephen F. Austin. Where they've made quite a run and they are continuing to actually make quite a run. Both of them are very energetic people, fun to have on staff. And I think no matter how long you've been in the business, you can learn from people. So it's fun to sit down with them, have some good talks and kind of open up your mind to new ideas. And so that's been fun as well. New to the roster, we have two transfers in. Chloe Mayer from Butte, California, little point guard she's our hunter. So she's the one that when my very first Zoom with her, she was in her bedroom on the bed and all along at the back wall were all these deer. And I went, what in the world's on the back there? She goes, oh, those are mine. And I go, those are yours? She goes, yeah, I hunt deer. I hunt everything. I love hunting. So she's found a few people already around Stillwater that's allowed her to fish and hunt and she's getting that fixed, but she's a great gal. Hopefully she's been a little injury plagued. So hopefully we'll get her back. She played a little bit against Auburn as well for us. Other transfer is North Texas point guard Nia Boyd, who's coming around and figuring out Coach Tell's system. Excited to have her with us. And three freshmen who actually, it was a strange, we didn't even bring them on campus. So these are all the COVID kids that never had a visit to Oklahoma State. All this was done virtually. So young lady, Tracy Brashears at a Northside High School in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Our young lady from New Caney, Texas, down by Houston is Tori Garza, a really good shooter. And then a freshman who we started at Auburn, who's come on, is Macy James, a kid out of Fresno, California, San Joaquin Memorial High School. So those are our five new ones that we're kind of throwing into the mix a little bit, especially Boyd, Mayer, and then James. But the other ones are coming along. Good kids, good students, understand why they're here, academics first, be a great player. And understand how special Stillwater is for us. But yeah, this is a schedule, guys, that we knew was going to be tough. We're currently 3-4. I told my wife we could easily be 0-7. The games that we've won, it's been a struggle. The games that we lost as a coach, we felt like we should have won. So we're at Auburn. We missed 11 free throws at Auburn. We missed 11 layups at Auburn, and we gave the ball away at half court 3 times for layups. So when you add that up really quick, like I do, that's about 25 points that we can't afford to do. So Natasha Mack graduating last year. Natasha was that player that to me pretty much hid all of the, I call them warts. And right now we've got to do a better job. So our margin for error with our group's pretty small. Here's what I like about them, and I've said this since July, since we all got together. We've not had a bad practice, and at our level, that's not normal. Normally, you throw in a bad one maybe once every 2 weeks. It's just a bad one, so you survive it and get what you can out of it. This group hadn't been that way, so they play hard. They play together. We have a very large rotation. We're playing about 12 players. Coach wants to narrow that down a little bit if we can, but we just don't have a lot of players emerging from the line that they're in. So as he said, we'll keep playing and hopefully somebody's going to step up and emerge. And when they do, then we'll kind of go with that. But that's been a good thing. We have a large roster, 16 people. Our 5th year, our COVID kid, Abby Winchester, graduates Saturday, industrial engineer. Very proud of Abby. As you all would know, what a degree to achieve and still maintain your schedule when it comes to being a student athlete. So she hit a home run. Great kid. Really proud of her. So fortunately, we practiced today at 1, so I'll have to bolt out of here pretty quick. We're going to practice tomorrow, and then Saturday we're going to be off and then go to her graduation at 10 over at Gallagher. So special day, as it always is when your kids graduate. But she just bleeds that orange through and through because of her family and things like that. So for us, it's been a good run. Our schedule coming up, we're going to have Southern on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, Friday, we play a really good UTA team. And then we roll right around to Tuesday against North Texas. And then we're off. So our players will be on planes flying home. That's an early start on Tuesday, the 21st at 1. We want to get them out of here and get them to either Oklahoma City or Tulsa and get them on flights and get them back home. We're off for 4 days, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Then we come back for a late practice on the 26th. So that's kind of the schedule. And then we play Tulsa, who's currently undefeated, on the 28th. And then we open with Texas at home, who's currently ranked, I believe now they're 8th in the country here at home. We open up that on Sunday. So things are happening quick, but that's okay. I like the group. I'm anxious to see from 1 month from right now where we'll be with them. But as we always say, and it's as my dad said, you better start doing better in a hurry. So I appreciate him. The honesty is always right there. And he's absolutely right. So anyway, I like to open things up for questions. I have a couple of recruiting stories. We just got back from Vegas on a trip. We get beat by Tennessee, did the post-game stuff, and I got back to the hotel because it's Bedlam. So bam, turn it's on. It's the second quarter. I'm watching. Third quarter, not very good. So I thought it was me. I asked Nick Hoheisel, where are you watching the game? He says, in my room. I'm going to head down. Maybe that'll help. He goes, let's just go to Jack's room. So we all went to Jack Easley's room. Guys, Jack's been around a while. I was trying in my mind to think, I think Jack's been a part of Oklahoma State for 38 years. I may be wrong, 38, 40 years. This is my memory from that. It wasn't Vegas. When we won Bedlam, the look on Coach Easley's face, I'll never forget. It was just priceless. It was almost like I've been through a lot of Bedlams, and some of these haven't turned out real well for the Cowboy Nation. Jack, the look on his face and the fist clench to end that, I will never forget Jack's look. I mean, it was just one of those, that's loyal and true to the core right there. And it was just absolutely awesome. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this room that probably felt the exact same way when that thing ended. So that was cool. My recruiting story, I'm working hard on a kid in Western Nebraska, and everybody, she lives so far out there. If I have car trouble, you'll never find me. There's nothing. My phone doesn't work, nothing. So I go to her game. It's a little small school. And I'm sitting here. Of course, they're filling it up, right? It's a volleyball game. It's full. And so I'm not talking to many people. Well, sure enough, there's an older lady beside me, and she had her group. I could tell they come to all this stuff, right? So she kind of gives me the elbow. And she goes, are you a scout? Which always makes me laugh. Are you a scout? I said, yeah, I'm a scout. And she goes, where are you from? I said, well, Oklahoma State. And she goes, well, who are you here to watch? I said, well, the big kid right there. She goes, oh, we love her. And I said, well, we do too. And can you help us get? She goes, I sure can. Her grandma's sitting over there. Her mom's right there. And I'll go tell them right now that they better go to Oklahoma State. I said, well, if you'd hurry up and do that before I leave, that would be good because we really need her in the class of 2023. What was so funny was it's a very small town. She's been there since 1963. The volleyball match lasted about 5 hours, the longest match ever. She told me everything about that town for almost 5 full hours. Friend for life. We're Facebook friends now. Everything's good. And I keep encouraging her, please talk to grandma and grandpa. It's not that far away. It's just Denver. The flight comes right in here to Stillwater. It's an easy trip. But that's still a fun part of my job is recruiting. The competition on the floor is fun, but the recruiting part's really fun because you get to know a lot of different people and where they're from as well. So anyway, I like to kind of stop, and I'm going to stop early because I got to get back to open up questions from anybody. I'd love to answer those.
Is the NIL for the girls athletes, participate in that?
Great question. The question was, do any of our players currently participate in NIL? We have one that does. She's TikTok famous, and that's a social media little item that the youth really get into. She has over 5 million followers. And so they've come to her and said, let's talk. And so she has a little connection with that company, and they met. Oklahoma State's done a really good job of helping our student athletes get connected. There's an in-between person there to make sure we're above board on what's going on, because it's getting really crazy, as you would know, with everything happening. But yeah, that's been one. The person I mentioned, the Hunter, actually Ducks Unlimited, and who am I thinking of over at Branson, guys and gals? Yeah, Bass Pro. They've actually kind of reached out to her as well because she's really good on social media, and being who she is and all that. They're like, wow, this would be good to kind of have her come along. So not crazy at all, not crazy at all, but there's a little bit of spattering of that available. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about it, and I want to say, yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. Any other questions? Wow, that was good then. None. Well, thank you all. I appreciate it very, very much. I see a lot of familiar faces. So as you would know, you at our games makes it a home court for us. And we've been gone for about 5 straight games. So we're glad to be home Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, and the following 28th. So continue to be loyal and true to the way you are. We appreciate it. We'd love to have you there, and go Pokes. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Coach Annan. Stillwater Frontier Rotary supports literacy, so we'll be donating a book to the Stillwater Public Library in your honor.